Guys, welcome to video one in a new series that I'm doing with Rob Wensley.
Thanks
Rob,
for having me.
this is going to be really fun, guys. We're going to do an entire masterclass on how to create $1 million a month. $1 million a month. I know this might sound incredulous, but wait until you see what we're going to lay out for you in this series. But how to create $1 million a month wholesaling business. And this is actually a real thing, right, Rob? I mean, this is a reality. It can be a reality.
Absolutely. There's this big misconception that, like, you know, the top wholesalers only make $100,000 or $200,000 a month. But I'm telling you, there's dozens of guys across the country that are consistently doing $1 million plus months. Most of them you've never heard of before, but it happens probably once a week where I get a call from someone that I've never heard of, never seen them on social media, never seen them at a conference, and I get on a call with them, and sure enough, they're doing $1 million per month. So
isn't that crazy?
It's crazy. Wholesaling is actually a huge multi-billion-dollar business.
Yeah. And guys, if you don't know Rob, he's the founder and owner of InvestorLift. And prior to InvestorLift, he actually consulted wholesalers on how to go from $1 million a year business to $1 million a month business. He's done it himself. He's seen it all. He knows exactly what the biggest wholesalers in the country are doing.
Absolutely.
And so we're actually going to map out an entire series. What are all the things we're going to cover in this video? We're going to talk about, first in this video, we're going to cover the misconceptions, because I think that's really important. And by the way, if you're watching this and you're like, Jerry, I'm still working on my first deal. I can't even fathom $1 million a month business. If that's you, doesn't matter, because the principles and the things you're going to learn are going to get you from wherever you're at today, whether it's your first deal or go from 5 to 10 or from 10 to 20 or your volume, whatever it is. Rob is going to be sharing with us how to actually scale a multi-million dollar wholesaling business. So this is applicable to you no matter where you're at in your business right now.
Yeah, we're going to give you all the game here in this video series. And we're
going to be talking about markets. We're going to be talking about acquisitions, dispositions,
dispo, everything.
All of it, guys. So this is going to be fantastic. We're going to be here in my home office all day. We got the cameras up. We got a whole list of content we're going to cover. So, strap in your seatbelt, get ready for an amazing masterclass, A to Z, how to scale a multi-million dollar business. So again, Rob, thank you for all your time, your expertise. You've moved to Puerto Rico, which is where I live. So we're sort of neighbors now. And we met the other day. You came over to my house. We had dinner and instantly made a connection. And I said this to you, very few times in my life do I connect with somebody that's doing such big and amazing things that I just resonate so much with. I mean, not only are you, know the business inside and out, but you're also a software guy, which I've been doing software since 2014. So I love software, automation, scale. So the way that you think and look at the market from an analytical point of view, from a data point of view, from a scientific view, for me, I love, because oftentimes we tend to think that this business is very arbitrary, when in fact, there are so many things about the business that can be streamlined to really allow you to blow it up and be super successful in the business. So I love that about you. So let's break it down. Let's jump into first misconceptions about the wholesaling, the industry, the business. Last time we met, I said, you know what? Wholesaling's got to be a multi-billion dollar industry. And you were like, Jerry, it is a massive industry. It's not just kind of low billion dollar industry. It's a thriving, massive multi-billion dollar industry. So talk a little bit about that. Why do you think people have such misconceptions about what wholesaling really can be from an income point of view?
Absolutely. So I remember when I first got into real estate, of course, I started working for a house flipping company. Yeah. And I discovered wholesaling while I was there, and I was like, guys, this is the craziest business model ever. We're just trading paper. We don't put any of our capital at risk. Instead of having to spend 6 months fixing up a house and flipping it, doing all this and having all this liability, we can just trade paper. Why don't we just do this? Yeah. And I remember, the guys at the company I was working with, they were like, no. Wholesaling is for noobs. Yeah. Wholesaling is for people that don't understand construction, that don't have the capital, don't have this, and this. That's just for noobs. Well, you can turn your money really fast. They're like, yeah, but we'd leave half our money on the table. I'm like, you don't understand. If you have a cash conversion cycle of 6 months and you bring that down to 30 days, you make 6 times more money.
Because of the volume
6x is a lot more than, you might make half as much money per deal, but you can do 6 times more deals.
Yeah.
So there's always this misconception that wholesaling was for noobs. And first company I was working at, Express Home Buyers, we did a big push. The executives there allowed us to kind of pivot the business model to see if we could actually scale up wholesaling. And flipping out, we were doing 60 flips at a time and barely making any money. Then we pivoted 100% to wholesaling. Within 6 months, we did our first 7-figure month.
In 1 month.
In 1 month.
Yeah.
With a small team. Like we're talking 12 people maybe on the team max. And that's when I had this aha moment. I'm like, okay, wholesaling is not for noobs. Wholesaling is for the pros. And
yeah, what a shift,
did
right?
That again. Yeah, did that again. The next company we did about 150,000 a month to over 2 million a month in 11 months.
2 million a month.
Yeah, and then the next company was zero wholesaling to over 2 million a month in under 8 months. And that last one, there was only 7 people on that team.
Small team doing million plus
even
a
2
month.
million a month.
Well, if you think about it, so I flip, I was that wholesaler that transitioned into flipping and other things. And with flipping, one of the things I've noticed is like there are no publicly traded flipping companies, right? There's been some that have tried Zillow and stuff. It hasn't worked out. The problem with flipping is every deal is unique. You have your own set of circumstances. Every house is going to have its own issues and problems. And it's very challenging to scale a flipping business. Now you can to a certain extent, but wholesaling, there are so many parts of wholesaling that can be automated and streamlined that you literally can scale a wholesaling business to millions a month.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the real key. That's the real key because flipping is a real estate business. Real estate businesses, very difficult to scale because you're dealing with the physical world.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything where
you're touching it.
Yeah. Anything where you're dealing with the physical world, very difficult to scale.
And your risk goes up. When you take title to a property, just by nature of owning something, inherently your risk goes up because now you own that asset. You're doing some sort of value add. All of that now takes on tremendous risk and time and capital. And what you're saying is wholesaling, you and I said this before, wholesaling is actually not really real estate. It's
not real estate. You're a marketing and sales business. That's it. You're a marketing and sales business.
The widget just happens to be houses.
Yes.
That's it. So the biggest wholesalers in the nation, they know that. They actually own that philosophy, right? They know that really they have a business of widgets and the widget just happens to be houses.
Yeah.
But it's marketing and sales.
It's marketing and sales. And if I had 2 guys and one of them knew a ton about real estate, but wasn't that strong in marketing and sales, and then I had someone that literally knew zero about real estate, but was strong in marketing and sales,
they'll kill them.
They're going to crush.
Yeah.
And that's why you see so many young guys crushing this business. I got a 19-year-old on InvestorLift that has consistently done $500,000 plus months at 19 years old.
And why? What's so special about this kid?
Hustle, marketing, sales, tech savvy. If you're tech savvy and you're good at marketing, you're good at sales, you know how to build a sales team, you know how to build marketing funnels, set up CRMs, all that. Yeah. That's what this business is.
Yeah, it's interesting because on my wholesaling team, I talked to you about this. One of my main dispo guys, he keeps looking at the money that's being left on the deal, right? So he's looking at the rest of the meat on the bone.
Yeah.
And he's going, man, if we just did this, and this, we could get such a higher number and make more money.
Yeah.
Right? But what's the problem there? What is he not seeing when you start to think that way as a wholesaling business?
Yeah. So if you look at the top wholesalers in the country, like a lot of them have this phrase that, I kind of teach them this, but a lot of them already have it ingrained in their sales teams. And that is, they'll say, we just got to ring the bell every day. Okay. So for example, with one of the last businesses I was working on scaling up and doing some consulting with, they're in Los Angeles. Average assignment fee in Los Angeles is north of $50,000 per day. So we get a closing rate on acquisitions where if we got 10 PPC leads in, we were going to close 1 deal out of 10.
Okay.
10 leads that come in. Okay. So we just need to make sure we're getting at least 10 leads in per day. We're closing 1 deal per day. That means we're doing $50,000 a day. It's $250,000 per week. That's $1 million a year.
Okay, so let's break that down, guys. So if you're new and you just heard that and your eyes glazed over, so first Rob said PPC, so that's online marketing.
Yeah.
So that's Google and Facebook ads probably.
Yeah.
And you're saying if those Facebook and Google ads bring in 10 leads, so you got to remember the nature of PPC or Google and Facebook. Those leads, they're filling out a form and they're reaching out to you. So motivation level's pretty high.
Very high.
They're like at the end of the cycle, right?
Yeah.
It's not like
inbound versus outbound.
Yeah.
Inbound has intent. When you're cold calling someone, you're trying to mine for intent.
Yeah.
When the leads come into you, the intent's already there.
They tend to be ready to go.
Yeah.
Like their foreclosure's next Friday and now they're trying to solve their problem, right? So those tend to be more hot leads. So 10 of those, you convert one.
Yeah.
And in a market where you're doing a $50,000 average assignment. So that's key, right? Yeah. It's not a $5,000 assignment. It's a $50,000 assignment.
We'll do a whole video
we are.
on how to pick markets.
That's because it's important. I mean, 5 deals making 50 in a deal is 250 versus 25. That's a big difference for the same work.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same work. So, and what market was that?
That was Los Angeles.
Okay, so Los Angeles. I mean, there you go. It's one of the highest markets. But the point here that you're making is 10 leads, 1 conversion, 50,000 average assignment, 250 a week, $1 million a month.
Yeah, you gotta just keep everything stupid simple. Just ring the bell every day. Okay, now that's on the high end, but when you're first getting started, I always tell people this is going to apply to you no matter where you are in your investor journey. And that is, there's only 2 metrics that matter in this business. There's only 2. Okay. I've been saying this for years. Now everyone else has like picked up on me saying it so much, and other people are starting to say it too. But the 2 metrics, and people have these vanity dashboards that track a million different things. And it's important to track some stuff, but a lot of people end up in analysis paralysis and they don't really distill the business down to what really matters. Mm-hmm. What really matters are 2 metrics, and if you're watching this, write this down, put them on your mirror and look at them every day. Number 1, what is my return on ad spend? For every dollar I spend on marketing, how many dollars do I get back?
Okay, so metric 1 is return on ad spend.
Yeah.
And that could be any marketing, direct mail, whatever you're doing. Your marketing, what is your ROI on that ad spend?
Yes. Your dollars are like soldiers. They go out, they need to capture prisoners to come back.
And in my business, we track this meticulously. Yes. I know every dime we spend and not only the ROI, but how quickly we ROI. That's important too.
Yes. Okay. So you jumped ahead. So that's the second metric.
That's the second one.
The second metric that's really critical is what is your cash conversion cycle? When you put those dollars out on marketing, how many days does it take you before your deal was sold? It entitles wiring that check.
Yeah.
Right? If you can just work on decreasing your cash conversion cycle 1% every day and increasing your return on ad spend 1% every day,
you're going to explode.
You're making
and why? You're putting the money back to work sooner.
You're recycling it.
And what would you say is a good cash cycle, like for some of the top wholesalers? Is everybody different?
I mean, most people that I talk to are like in that 45. Well, it depends on their marketing channels, right? If you're doing like cold calling, texting, like you might be looking at 180-day cash conversion cycle. That'd be pretty typical.
Okay.
For the more professional businesses that are doing more inbound marketing, a lot of guys are in like the 45 to 60.
Okay.
But the top in the country, a lot of those guys are sub 30.
So for us, and tell me if I'm looking at this wrong or right, I'd love your feedback. I want to have a break even at day 30.
Yeah.
So basically whatever I spend, I get all that money back by day 30. And then now past that's profitable, right? And so like I have a rule with my marketing team, like if you can break even by day 30, scale the spend as high as you want.
Yeah,
like there you have no ceiling.
Cash conversion cycle.
Right, because I'm understanding that the dollars are coming back into the business. And so now that's always tricky because, as soon as you start to spend more, you got to go bigger audiences. So it's not just so easy as like spend more money. But the point is if you understand your cash cycle and you understand how to ROI, and then you can just put more money in the top funnel and out comes more at the bottom.
Yeah. So the guy that you were talking about was like, oh, I think we could juice this deal for a little bit more. Yeah, you can, but how much time is it going to take you? sometimes it's better just to make, maybe make $5,000 less just to like get the deal done quicker and keep your cash conversion cycle back. Cause then you can roll that money right back into marketing and it's 5xing or 10xing.
We're going to cover, guys, we're going to break down a lot of these ideas as we go through this masterclass. So please stay tuned. But one thing you said to me, and it really resonated and stuck with me, was you said that the top wholesalers in the country, they want those deals gone, not closed, because there's a close cycle, but when they put a deal out to the marketplace, 48 hours, they want a buyer.
Yeah, when I was selling deals, I would try to move everything in 48 hours. 48
hours.
Yeah.
That's the magic button. So what tends to happen, I told you I got a deal right now where we're dispoing this deal. We're getting all this activity, lots of people interested, going and looking at it. My dispo guys just swamped on this one deal, talking to everybody. Yeah. The problem is the like move it in 48 hour number is 72,000, maybe 73, 74, but low mid 70s. And we're trying to push it in the low mid 80s.
Yeah.
So now what's happening is my dispo team is trying to find the outlier buyer that's overpaying.
And that takes forever.
And it's bogging down the engine.
Yeah. You could move that deal.
We'll move it.
But it'll take 2 weeks.
That's it. So
you could have sold 10 deals.
That's it. That's the point. And so people don't understand this. They're like, yeah, but if we just work it, we overprice it, we handhold somebody, we'll get it moved and we'll make, in this case, we're going to make 10,000 more. But the problem is my whole team is bogged down on one deal, because now what's happening is the VAs are doing text follow-ups on the interested parties.
Yeah.
Dispo is calling back the guy that looked at it twice.
Yeah.
All this energy, instead of like, why didn't I just buy a little deeper, put it out at a number that it's gone in 48 hours and I'm on to the next deal.
Yeah,
brain damage over.
The market is so efficient. If you price it right, you push it out, it's going to be gone.
One of the things I'm super excited about is a video we're going to do, which is actually simplifying your buy formula.
Yeah.
And we're going to move away from the complicated ARV a little bit. At least propose that
different,
formula.
Faster ways of looking at it.
Yeah.
That actually are, because the 70% ARV formula, like everyone has been using that for years.
Me included. Yeah.
And it's a great starting point. But if you do that in a market like Southern California, you're never going to get a deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you'll get outbid on everything.
Well, think about why. Like in California, let's take San Diego. You're moving $1 million inventory. Well, those flippers are making, they're okay to make 50 grand. A flipper make 50 grand. Well, that's the same net cash profit as a normal market that's doing $400,000 houses.
Yeah.
Well, why? It's just because they're looking at their widgets at $1 million versus 400, and they've created a net profit they're happy with. So it's just more capital intensive, but the formula gets thrown out of whack now.
Yeah.
Because now the fundamentals don't work the same on a percentage formula.
And then conversely, if you go to like some small town in middle America and you're buying a 70% ARV, if you push that out to your cash buyers in those markets, they're just going to laugh at you. Some of these markets, nothing moves above 40 cents on the dollar, 50 cents on the dollar. So we're entering this new era of wholesaling. Okay. 5 years ago, wholesalers, they were looked down on. There's this misconception that was what you had to do if you didn't really have capital and you didn't understand construction. Then over the last few years, I think we really pushed the emergence of the mega wholesalers, the $1 million a month wholesalers. And then when COVID hit, that then actually gave us a lot more freedom, because we could say, we're buying virtually. That gave us the freedom to now build nationwide mega wholesalers. And now wholesalers aren't stuck in their one market. So we're going to talk about that a lot too in these videos. Like, what are the best markets? If you're in a bad market,
how to pick a good market, how to scale multiple markets.
Yeah, because this new era of wholesaling, what you're going to see over the next few years, you're going to see a mega consolidation of wholesalers, where I think there's going to be less wholesalers, because the tech and the marketing and the sales is getting so advanced, and
especially with AI.
Fast. Yeah. So there's going to be fewer wholesalers, but the wholesalers that do survive these next 5 years are going to become really big. Like, we did $1 million a month wholesalers here in the last few years. Within the next 3 years, we're going to have $10 million a month wholesalers.
Isn't that crazy?
100%.
Yeah.
100% will happen. It'll be someone on InvestorLift. There's already a few people that are trending in that direction, but we will have 100 million plus a year wholesalers. And the crazy thing is, like, anyone can do this. We all have the same 24 hours in the day. We all have the same tools.
Access to the same list. Same data.
You could literally be watching this video now, and 3 years from now,
be one of those
guys.
Yeah.
And even if you hit 10% of that, like,
that's the point. I mean, like, guys, I know there's going to be people that are listening to this, Rob, that are going to be so overwhelmed at the idea when they're like hitting the wall right now in the beginner level. So we're going to talk also about transitioning from beginner to intermediate to pro and what that journey looks like, because it is a journey. And like I tell people all the time, your 10th deal is 10 times easier than your first deal, and your 100th deal is 100 times easier than your 10th deal because of the law of momentum. Momentum, when you start to create momentum, you move the engine 100%. Faster, because now you're leveraging processes and people and systems and technology. So it's just wherever you're at, guys, it's okay. Own where you're at. I like to tell people, understand your risk tolerance, understand your sales and marketing experience. Like, where are you at? And now ask yourself, if I'm at, level 1 and level 10 is $1 million a month, what do I got to do to get to level 2 and then level 3? Yeah. What does it look like to then grow a thriving, successful business? I think most people that look at this, most people I don't think just want a side hustle where they can pay some bill, make a little money to pay their bills. I don't really think most people want to do that.
Step 1 is replacing your income.
Step 1, replace your income. Yeah, because until you're full-time in this business, you're going against all the odds, because the full-timers are just going to be ahead of you. Every time you turn around, they're ahead of you because they're full-timing, right? So how do you first get out of that part-time side hustle into a full-time hustle? That's got to be priority number 1. Yeah. Just because it's so hard to compete as a side hustle. It was for me. When I started, I side hustled it for a year or so, part-time in it. And then I tell this story all the time, Rob. My goal was I'm gonna wholesale part-time, before work, lunch breaks, weekends. Yeah. And when I make enough money to replace my income, which was nothing, then I'll go full-time. So here I am, a year, deal here, deal there. My first month full-time, I did 5 wholesale deals and made $52,000. Wow. Which my goal was $25,000 part-time in it. Took a year. Month 1 did $52,000. So the full-time transition allowed me to just put all my energy, all my focus. Yeah. And thankfully I had a little bit of experience doing the part-time thing, so it all worked out. Yeah. But my point with sharing that is there's a transition to move from step 1 to step 2, or level 1 to level 2 to level 10. And what we want to do on this masterclass series here is just kind of map this out. Yeah. What does it look like? What are all the key components? Yeah.
I always tell people it's 10 times harder to go from 0 to 10K a month than it is to go from 10K a month to 100K a month.
Totally.
And going from 10K to 100K a month is 10 times harder than it is to go from 100K to $1 million a month.
Oftentimes it's small tweaks. And then when you're at that level, and then boom, you're starting to hit big numbers, big strides.
So we'll walk through all of that, getting to 10K a month, getting to 100K a month, getting to $1 million, and just give the roadmap. The biggest mistake people make in this industry, we got thousands of people coming into the wholesaling industry every year. Thousands. Yeah. Maybe 1% survives their first year. Yeah. The 1% that does, they achieve financial freedom, they escape their 9 to 5, they become very wealthy. But why do the 99% fail? I think it's because they're climbing the wrong ladders. That's the analogy I like to make. You can work really hard climbing a ladder, and you get to the top, and you're like, oh shoot, I climbed the wrong ladder. You gotta go back down and again, start again. So there's a lot of people that come into the business, and they're just not doing they're focusing on the wrong things. I had a company I was talking to, and brand new company, they have $10,000 to get started. And I'm like, so how are you going to spend it? We're going to put $5,000 into SEO. I'm like,
SEO?
Dude, first of all, $5,000 in SEO is a drop in the bucket And second of all, even if that had any impact, you wouldn't see the money until a year from now. By then you'll be out of business.
Yeah.
So there's all these people when they first get in the business, they don't know what they don't know. And all of us were all there. Jared was there. I was there. Every single $1 million a month company or $100K a month company or whatever on InvestorLift, we're all there.
Yeah.
And what we're going to try to do is take all those insights that we learned over the years and just distill them. So,
I mean, to wrap this up, I think one thing I want to share is so many people come into the wholesaling business with such misconceptions about that it's going to be easy, that they're going to make all this money with little to no effort or no work. And they quickly realize that this is work. Yeah. Right? Now, there's ways that we can really grow at a fast level, but part of the reason why I see it is people come in, they get some rejection, they don't see immediate money, and they're out. And that's just sort of the nature of like, it attracts sort of the get rich quick crowd a bit, wholesaling does. And it's in part for, marketing guys that are saying, look how much money I made, look how easy this is. But I did an interview yesterday with a Deal Machine. I was on their podcast, and a guy came on and asked me a question, and he said, hey, I just got started wholesaling. Like, I'm brand new, and I'm finding that it's so competitive and he started telling me all the reasons why it's not working. Yeah. And I said, don't take offense to my answer here, but dude, you haven't put in the work yet. Like, how can you say it's not working? Have you talked to 1,000 sellers? Yeah. Then you cannot say it doesn't work. Yeah. Right? Have you made 100 offers this month? Then you can't say it doesn't work. So what's happening is here he is, he's coming in, he's got a couple weeks in, he's looking at properties, he's making offers, he's skip tracing, no one's answering the phone, and he's like, man, this isn't working. And when that happens, if you think that it's going to be that simple, that fast, then as soon as you hit those walls, you're gone. You're on to the next, money-making idea. And so I think we need to also be real that the top wholesalers, they're gritty. Yeah. They are tough as nails. They pound the pavement. They're willing to work hard. Oh yeah. So like, this isn't just this, gimmicky, make money quick, easy type of thing. Like, you got to build a business. You got to follow the fundamentals and build a business. 100%. And we're going to break this down and hopefully give you a vision and a roadmap. I hope we can create a roadmap in this masterclass series, Rob, that will help people really know right now, today, what they need to do to build a successful business. Absolutely. Awesome. Guys, if you don't know about InvestorLift, it is the largest marketplace, the most successful marketplace for wholesaling. A lot of people have tried creating marketplaces, but InvestorLift actually is a deal-making marketplace. Yeah. Inventory is moving there. The top players are there. So I'm going to put a link below if you want to check out how you can be part of InvestorLift. Also, if you've got deals that you're looking to dispo and you don't have a big cash buyer network, I am part of the cartel level of InvestorLift, which is there's only 50 people at that level. What that means is it means I have access to over 4 million active cash buyers all across the nation. And you can actually submit your deals. We'll dispo those deals. We'll JV with you, and we can help you get your deals moved. So I'll put that link below as well. Also, I'm going to put Rob's info. You guys really need to follow Rob. He's one of the greatest minds in our industry right now. I'm so grateful to get to know you, Rob. And so you want to be following and in his world. So we'll put your social media, your Instagram, you're putting out YouTube content. Yeah. But you are, in my mind, if I were to try to access the closest mind to the biggest players in the industry, it's Rob Wensley. So I'm grateful to have that connection where I can call Rob and say, Rob, what's working right now today? And not just get his ideas, but actually get feedback from the biggest wholesalers in the country. That's valuable. So we're going to try to grab some of that out of Rob and put that out in this series. So again, guys, be sure to watch the rest of the series. Watch for video 2. We're gonna create a playlist. So we'll put all these videos in that playlist, and you can access them. We're going to try to go in order, kind of from step 1 down. So if you're coming in this masterclass series, down as we're creating these videos, try to go back and go through in order. I think that'll be the best way to do this. Again, we'll make a playlist, put all these videos in that playlist so that you can access this. So Awesome. Thank you, Rob.
Awesome.
Thank you, everybody. Let's move on to watch for video series number 2 coming up.